It just dawned on me, Glenn, that you are doing the game with Dustin Nielsen tonight in Calgary, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay, and Dusty likes to be sneaky and drop in when it was the Stampede Bowl and country music references. So let's challenge Dusty and how many Hulk Hogan references on tonight's broadcast he can drop in. Were you a wrestling guy in the 80s? You're busy winning Grey Cups, but did you watch it?
Yeah, no, I really didn't. I know it was very popular though, because I used to have many discussions with people who would come across the restaurant and say, I'm not really a fan of the CFL, but I do love wrestling. And I go, that wrestling, as athletic as they are, it's predetermined. Like you don't have to sit on the edge of your seat. Someone's already decided who's going to win that, right? And I used to get frustrated with that, but hey Sharky, I can't believe you don't know the Rocky reference there, because that episode made the show. I mean, Rocky is now he's a champion, and he's reading the headlines, and he's got all this luxurious cars and house and all that, and he wants to do this exhibition match with Thunderlip, and who was Hulk Hogan, and they start throwing each other around the ring, and that's when I knew that even though it's a movie, and my wife had to keep reminding me, Glenn, it's just a movie, but Rocky is picking up this huge wrestler over his head and throws him out of the ring. Now, there weren't not enough special effects for that to happen without him actually picking him up and throwing him out of the ring.
Yeah. At that time,
Yeah, it was quite the scene, and a big part of the movie, because it started to get Rocky back into the I could get my butt kicked out here if I don't be careful. Yeah,
okay, I'm gonna go home tonight, watch Rocky 3. Yeah,
and then
it's got to be out there somewhere. I can find it.
We won't let you know. We won't ruin it. But actually, the Mr. T at the end, you might Clubber Lang. That was.
I remember that Clubber Lang part. Yeah,
Clubber Lang and Mickey get into a little bit of a dust up in the hallway. We'll leave it at that.
Oh, I got a big night ahead of me. Big night.
Well, more importantly, you can watch it after the football game.
Yeah, Glenn, let's go fishing and hunting with Brendan Labatt.
We just had him on.
Oh, buddy, I heard you guys talking about it just before I jumped on. I was doing my prep for the game tonight, and I'm going to go back and listen to the podcast because I want to hear what was said throughout that. Yeah. I just, that long weekend I had the one Thursday game this past weekend.
Yep.
I finally got out in front of Vancouver, just around UBC in that area, and caught a couple of coho salmon. And unfortunately, they weren't. They were the what do they call them? Not the natural salmon, but they weren't the farm salmon.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can only keep the farmed one. You can't keep the wild salmon. So we had to throw them back, but. Still, a wonderful day of fishing. So I'm in. If you guys want to go fishing, I am absolutely in. Fly fishing, trolling, jigging, I don't care. Let's do it.
I'm in Euclid in August 19th. See you there. Yeah, we're going out for tuna.
So yeah, you're going out tuna. So you're going to be jigging probably.
No, trolling.
Trolling. I was thinking of the bottom fish.
Halibut.
Halibut, yeah, those big halibut. You're jigging for those. But yeah, for tuna, you'll be out trolling, and again, beautiful area. Beautiful.
You guys can go fishing. You just let me know what the nearest golf course is, and then I want to come and hang out with that bear. I want to see the bear that hangs out in front of your house. Don't want to hunt it.
Yeah, how's the bear?
Barney, we have a new sighting. Okay, so
okay, here we go. Yeah. We should have some sort of breaking news thing here.
Well, I just got a text this morning actually from my wife that said, could you please check the outside live camera? Because I looked out the window. I was about to take our dog Maximus out for a walk, and I looked out the window, and there is a massive dump right in front of our door. and she goes, I want to know if the bear is still out front because it looks brand new, which I'm sorry, if you're having lunch right now and you're listening in, I apologize for the visual. But It's a bear sighting, and apparently my recordings on the outside camera haven't kicked in yet, so I haven't been able to see it. But as soon as I see it, I'll send it to Coulson, and we'll get it on the air because apparently he was right at our front door and just did his business right there.
That happens in Regina a lot, but it's not bears.
Not a bear.
Just check out Just Bins, and you will see what we're talking about. Tonight, Elks are in Regina tomorrow, and they have named a starting quarterback with Cody Fajardo starting tomorrow. Is that what you thought, Glenn? Did you or were you leaning more towards Trey? I can't remember when we talked about it on Tuesday.
Yeah, it's what I thought would happen, but I don't know that it's the right thing, and it's not a shot at Cody. Again, we talked about on Tuesday just sort of the analogy of baseball that you have your ace pitcher, and if he doesn't have his best stuff, you go to your reliever right away, and the ace pitcher is back the next night, and maybe he'll be better that night. But it doesn't change the pecking order. And if they truly in Edmonton believe in Trey Ford, and I did see growth over the first 4 or 5 games. Not the BC game. The BC game, he was off, no question, and should have been pulled, probably. But let's put it this way. What happens if Cody Fajardo, and this is no disrespect to Cody, because he's a championship quarterback, really has nothing to do with him, almost. But let's just say the team plays okay, does not win, and now what? Now what? Now are they going to go week to week deciding who's going to start at quarterback and make this a massive distraction for the next month and a half?
That's kind of what I was saying to Sharky earlier.
Okay. Who gives them the best chance to win every night?
Is the answer Jesus?
But he's not. Well, he's on the DL. He's not available.
Well, I would start the answer to that question for this particular team, for me, Sharky, would be their defense has to play better for them to win every night or have a chance to win every night. That's the first part that has to happen for them. And I know what you're saying and suggesting that we're not talking about college football where you're trying to develop a freshman so that in his junior and senior year, he's the starter and he's your guy. This is pro football, and you have to make these decisions immediately. And they have a guy in the bullpen who is a champion. So I get it, and I just not sure that not going back to your starter, but letting them both know that if your starter is off his game as much as Trey Ford was against BC, that you're going to make a change probably by the end of the first quarter. So, there's all of these discussions on coaches sending the wrong signal. If you pull a guy too soon, you're sending the wrong signal. It's like we're leaving breadcrumbs for these, emotional quarterbacks that don't have, you got to be so careful with their confidence and stuff. Why not just bring them in and treat them like grown-ups, cut the shoes off their jammies and say, look, we need you both to win, okay? We need you both to win. Trey, you're our starter. You're still our starter. So you go and start. But if you don't see it and you're playing like you did in BC, I'm putting Cody in there. So don't pout about it. Don't be upset about it. Don't think that it means you've lost your position forever and ever. Amen. Let's just try to win a football game, and then cut him loose and let him go. I don't know. I just think if Cody goes out and leads this team to a big win, which is going to be a very tough task against Saskatchewan, then they make the change. They've got their veteran in there. That's why they brought him over, and that'll be the narrative. If they don't, and Cody plays okay, but they don't win, now what? Now it becomes competition week to week, and it's a distraction.
A couple of people on the text line got my Ned Braden reference, by the way there. Hey, do you believe in trap games, Glenn?
I think you can. I think that players are human, and I think when you're on a roll, sometimes you start to feel pretty good about yourselves, and you start to think, we can show up. It's not a conscious thought, but it's back there. It's just a little bit less hustle, and you probably don't even notice it until you watch the video the next day. but then you think, why was I not quite as fast to the ball there? So I know the coaches remind you, and you try to work on your own level of excellence in your own locker room and things like that. But they're human. So you're winning a bunch in a row, you start to think you're pretty good, and you start to maybe believe you can show up to win. And you cannot in this league show up to win. You better play your best.
Would you be shocked if the Elks shut down the Riders' running attack, especially on first down?
I'll be shocked if this. It's funny. It's an interesting question. It's a tricky question because the biggest surprise for me in the league might be that the Edmonton defense has underachieved so poorly. Mm-hmm. Like it's this level of underachievement for the Edmonton defense. Look at their personnel, way better than they've been playing. I mean, they've had a quarter here and there. So I wouldn't be surprised if they played better. But the way that Trevor is seeing the game, the fact that Sam Emelis is back for his second game back from injury. First one is always sort of feeling your way through it, coming back off injury. Second one is when you really can kick in again. So I expect an even bigger game out of him. And then the run game. So I guess I wouldn't be surprised for their defense to play better and for it to be a dogfight. But I would be surprised if Edmonton just goes in and shuts down Trevor Harris and this offense. I would be surprised at that.
We don't get you again before Friday night. The game in here. I think the Riders run away. I really do. I think they run. I'm looking at a 40-10. 40-15.
I haven't seen one of those in a while.
Yeah, but I literally...
Last weekend felt like that.
It did.
But it wasn't.
It wasn't, but it could have been very quickly, and I think they run away with this one. I think Edmonton is very, very delicate right now, right? They're very delicate, and any little disaster that we see as a bad play is going to be a mind blower for them, and I literally think the Riders run away with this. Am I crazy?
Yeah,
He's not in the prediction business.
No, I just asked if I was crazy. No, that's not a prediction.
But, no, well, I won't call it crazy because I think the part when you said about if something bad happens that it'll just sort of pile on for Edmonton. It's that fight with the everybody's number one enemy, which is self-doubt. And everybody has that. Whether you're on the golf course, Barney, or wherever. You have that self-doubt when you're pulling the club and you're in between clubs or whatever, and you're looking at.
You've played with Barney?
Chip, but yeah, I've got
self-doubt. Glenn starts when I pop the trunk open and start putting on my shoes. Just to let you know.
That's exactly. When you have that 25-yard chip shot you got to make, and you say to yourself just before you swing, I'm really bad at this. That's self-doubt winning. That is self-doubt winning. And then you watch the ball scull right across the green to the other side, and you're still. But that's what the Elks are fighting against right now. The Elks are fighting against that self-doubt. So when something bad happens, self-doubt jumps in and says, see, you're not very good, and you're going to lose again. And that fight is going to be a tough one for them. But here's the thing, and here's why I disagree on the blowout. I think it'll be a dogfight, Sharky, because this is a desperate team. And they're pros, and they're grown men, and they understand that when you're desperate and you need to win a game badly, then it's not about those big plays just happening. It's about every single little step you take. So they're going to be disciplined. They're going to be in their gaps on defense. They're going to run their routes to the exact part that they are, part on the field that they should be running their routes to. And we'll see if Cody is accurate and puts the ball where he needs to and goes out and competes. So I think it'll be closer because of that, because they're grown man. Listen, everybody's talking about Calgary for this game tonight. You know who beat Calgary? Ottawa.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's their one loss. Ottawa.
In a Cayman Island typhoon.
Yeah.
But what do you think about that game tonight? Damian Alford, curious to see, 3 games in a row. I might sprinkle on some sort of prop bet there. What are you expecting? What are you thinking of tonight's game that you're calling?
Well, Damian Alford in the last 2 games has 230 yards and 4 touchdowns. Like 4. He has that 81-yarder. Yeah, and he's a rookie, first-round draft pick. And, I'm going to, in our pregame show tonight, I'm going to do a kind of an inside look, a special telestrator look at some of the things that he does really well. But he's up against Kabion Ento, who is a taller, very good corner for Montreal. So it's an excellent matchup. It's one we'll be watching tonight, and the viewer will be able to see little close-ups of. But he's turning heads, and it's great. I mean, this is the we talked about on Tuesday, Barney. This is sort of the silver lining when a guy gets hurt. And, Clark Barnes gets hurt after a touchdown catch against the Bombers when they played in Calgary. And he hasn't been able to come back from his ankle. And Damian Alford is not coming off the field. So they're going to have to find another spot for Barnes.
I'm looking forward to the game tonight.
So am I. Big time. Yeah.
And say what you want, and people that are cool, and it's like, okay, put a little wager on. Sit back tonight and watch an interesting matchup. And I expect McLeod Bethel-Thompson to move the ball.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just one of those things. We got anything else?
No, that's. I've already told that I'm not crazy, so I'm going to go with that.
I texted Dusty to just say, how many Hulk Hogan references can you put in tonight's broadcast? And all he texted back was brother. So I'm looking forward to that more than anything tonight. Glenn, have a lot of fun. Send us that bear video.
Yes.
By the way, and we'll send you some just bins ones from Regina. We'll compare.
You got it. As soon as it's up on my phone, I'll send it to you guys because I don't know what it'll look like. Maybe him squatting in front of my front door. That's not going to be fun. But we'll see.
It'll still be good. It'll still be good.
Have a good weekend. We'll catch up next week.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
See you
Glenn.
later.